Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Zishan Rizvi from Rehan AI Teacher Training Institute, Batch 21. And today I'm going to discuss with ChatGPT about the power of networking, building meaningful connections. So I have to ask a few questions today, and I hope GPT will give me a perfect answer, and you can all enjoy and learn from this. Hi, GPT.
Hey Zishan, good afternoon. I'm really glad you're here and I'm excited to dive into this topic with you. So, whenever you're ready, go ahead and ask your questions. I'll do my best to give you some solid insights.
Excellent. My first question is what does meaningful networking really mean to you?
That's a great starting point. For me, meaningful networking is about more than just collecting contacts. It's really about building trust, adding value, and fostering relationships that grow over time. It's less transactional and more about genuine connection where both sides support each other's growth. Does that align with how you think about it, or is there another angle you're exploring?
No, that's fine. That's perfectly okay. And how do you usually start a conversation with someone new?
Good question. I usually start with something genuine, like a shared interest, a compliment on their work, or a common goal we might have. I try to keep it light, but also show I've done a bit of homework, so it's not just random. What about you? Do you have a go to approach?
Yes, the GPT, I appreciate if you don't ask me questions. I can discuss it later on with you because I have a limited time. So I like to ask my questions and get your answer. So if it is okay to you, right?
Absolutely, that's totally fine. No problem at all. Just keep the questions coming, and I'll give you concise answers so you can make the most of your time.
All right. So, what makes a connection feel authentic rather than transactional?
Great question. An authentic connection really comes from being curious about the other person, listening actively, and being open about yourself, not just what you can get out of it. When both sides feel seen and valued, that's when it feels real, not just a give and take.
All right. And what stops people from building stronger professional connections?
Yeah, a big barrier is often fear of rejection. People hesitate because they worry they'll come off as pushy or inauthentic. Another factor is not having time or not prioritizing follow up. So the initial contact never turns into a lasting relationship.
All right. And uh,
No rush. If you have
have you ever experienced a life changing opportunities through networking?
I haven't personally had experiences myself, but I've definitely seen it in a lot of people I've worked with. Like they got new jobs, started businesses, or even found mentors that completely shifted their path. So it's definitely powerful when you build it right.
Right. And how can introverts become powerful networkers in their own way?
Yeah, that's a really important point. Introverts often do really well by focusing on one conversations or smaller curated events. They can also prepare ahead of time, having a few thoughtful topics or questions ready, so they feel more in control and natural in those conversations.
Is it better to have a large network or a strong, close knit one? Why?
I'd say a strong, close knit network is often more powerful. Those deeper relationships give you trust, reliability, and mutual support. A large network can give you more breadth, but without depth, it can feel a bit shallow. So, balance is key, but strong connections are usually more impactful.
All right. What role does trust play in building long term connections?
Trust is absolutely foundational. Without trust, even if you meet often, the relationship stays fragile. But once trust is there, built through consistency, integrity, and follow through, those connections stand the test of time and create real opportunities down the road.
How do you maintain relationships after the first meeting?
A big part is regular intentional follow up. So, sending a quick message, sharing something of value, or even suggesting another chat. And be specific, refer to something meaningful from your conversation so it feels personal and not generic.
All right. And how important is listening compared to speaking in networking?
Listening is actually crucial. When you listen well, you understand their needs, their goals, and you can respond more thoughtfully. Speaking is important too, but if you don't balance it with listening, the connection can feel one sided.
All right. And what is the biggest mistake people make while networking?
I'd say the biggest mistake is approaching it with a purely transactional mindset. So they focus only on what they can get instead of how they can contribute. And people lead with genuine curiosity and generosity, they avoid that mistake.
All right. And uh, can online networking be as powerful as face to face connections?
It can be, but it takes intentionality. Online networking gives you a wide reach and you can build strong bonds through consistent interactions like engaging on posts, video chats, or sharing resources. It just requires a bit more effort to create that same depth as in person.
And how do you turn a casual contact into a meaningful relationship?
It's all about staying consistent and adding value over time. So after that first meeting, check in, share something relevant, maybe offer support or advice, and be patient. As trust builds, that casual contact naturally deepens.
All right. And what habits help successful people grow their network consistently?
One big habit is setting aside regular time for networking, like dedicating a few hours each week to reach out, engage, and follow up. Another is being genuinely curious, so they ask insightful questions and look for ways to help others. Consistency and follow through are really key.
All right. And how can networking help in personal growth beyond career?
Yeah, absolutely. Networking opens you up to different perspectives, new ideas, and even personal mentors who can guide you in broader life goals. It gives you confidence, a sense of community, and a chance to grow in ways you might not expect.
And what is your strategy for following up after meeting someone new?
So, my approach is to follow up within 24 to 48 hours, referencing something specific from our conversation, maybe a shared interest or a topic we discussed. Then I offer something of value, like a resource or an idea, and I keep it casual so it doesn't feel forced or salesy.
How do you add value to others in your network?
I try to keep an eye out for things they might need, like sharing a relevant article, making an introduction to someone in my network, or just offering some feedback or encouragement. When I focus on helping them first, it deepens the trust and reciprocity in the long run.
And what does giving before receiving mean in networking?
It means focusing on being helpful and generous first without immediately expecting something in return. By offering value like advice, connections, or insights before asking for anything, you build trust and goodwill. Then, when you do ask, it feels more natural and balanced.
And how, have you ever reconnected with someone after years and it changed something?
Yeah, actually, I have. A couple years ago, I reconnected with an old mentor, and that conversation opened up a new direction in my career. So, even after time apart, those connections can spark fresh opportunities.
What qualities make someone memorable in a networking event?
I'd say authenticity is huge. People who are genuine stand out. Also, being a good listener, having a clear passion or purpose, and leaving people feeling heard or inspired, they tend to stick in people's minds long after the event.
All right. And how can networking help you discover hidden opportunities?
Yeah, it's often by being exposed to new circles or conversations you wouldn't have had otherwise. Someone might mention a niche project, an emerging trend, or a gap in the market. When you engage with a diverse network, those hidden possibilities start to surface.
What fears hold people back from reaching out to others?
Yeah, a big one is fear of rejection, worrying they'll be seen as intrusive or unwanted. Another is imposter syndrome, feeling like they're not worthy of reaching out. But when they push through that fear, often they're pleasantly surprised by how open others can be.
All right. And how do you balance authenticity and professionalism in networking?
That's a great balance to strike. I think it's about being yourself, but still being mindful of context. So share personal touches, but keep your tone respectful and relevant to the situation. That way you're genuine, but also professional.
If you could reach one networking lesson to your self, younger self, what it be? What would it be?
I think I'd tell my younger self to focus more on depth over breadth. So instead of trying to connect with everyone, really invest in a few meaningful relationships. Over time, those deeper bonds are what really pay off.
Excellent. Thank you very much, GPT, for your today's session. It was really valuable, and you contributed an excellent amount of knowledge and information. Hope to touch base with you again, and let me say bye for now. And once again, thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.
You're very welcome. I'm really glad it was helpful. Take care, and I'll be here whenever you want to dive into something new. Have a fantastic day. Bye for now.